My name is Brian Johnson. I am originally from Hendersonville, North Carolina, where I was born and raised. And I have two separate stints in two different branches of the military. I was enlisted in the United States Navy, and I was an officer in the United States Army. That was part of the Navy in which we would intercept and decode messages, encrypted messages from foreign nations, intercept their signals. I was stationed at three different places. I was stationed in Japan, on Yokosuka, Japan for a while, stationed at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii for a while, and ultimately ended up in San Diego at 32nd Street Naval Station. There were some, pretty cool things, rescuing, ships that, the crew, there were ships that were disabled and sinking, and I also had a collateral duty of being a search and rescue swimmer, so I would board the ship's helicopter and then jump in and pull people out of the ocean, including one time there was a downed U.S. pilot in the carrier battle group we were in that had a malfunction and had to eject and jump in and get him out of the water. So it was, some of it was normal, some of it was in response to certain things other foreign nations do in international waters. So I made the transition for a couple of reasons. So I knew at a certain point that, look, if I was going to stay in, I wanted to become an officer. And I was considering ways to do that very thing. And the decision was kind of made for me when at the time the Army had a lack of officers, a shortage of officers. And so they created a temporary program, a competitive program called Blue to Green. And they were rating the enlisted ranks of the Navy or the Air Force to pull them into the Army. The thought being that enlisted ranks already had some military, training and been through basic training, boot camp and everything. And so it'd be easier, to get us to understand the military way of life. And so I applied for that program and got accepted. So there was to do that, then I had to go into the Army because that was the program I applied for. And so when, with the Army, then they asked, which branch within the Army. I decided to go into the infantry, and so was part of 3rd ID during the invasion of Iraq for Operation Iraqi Freedom, and then the subsequent peacekeeping operations after that. And then afterwards, I went into the special operations community, and within that community, there are a lot shorter and most of the time classified missions that you would go to various places. When I look back, one of the things that I'm most proud of is really being given a chance to command men in combat. There's no greater responsibility placed on somebody than to do that. If you're a leader, you really have to, as part of getting your team to want to follow you instead of have to follow you, is to lead by example. In the infantry community, we call it leading from the front. And so I, make it a point to be the first one in and the last one out, to be seen regularly doing about every type of job that we have around here, so that they can see that none of it's beneath me, whether it's taking out trash or vacuuming a hallway if there's dirt there, or moving furniture around, or manning the front desk if nobody's there, just to show that, I might be a temporary leader amongst equals, but we're all in this together. I could not have done what I did in the military or been as successful if at the time I was married, if at the time my wife was not taking care of things on the home front. I didn't just serve myself, my wife served along with me, really, just in a different role. And so, making sure that you appreciate those around you who oftentimes are the ones lifting you up has also done me well.